new chapter here, neurologic disorders and related problems. This is usually students' favorite unit, but it is also kind of depressing. I just want to give you a heads up because we're talking about some of the most serious conditions that affect humans. We'll talk about tumors, seizures, strokes, developmental problems, degenerative problems, and a couple of other conditions, just sort of catch all. Okay, brain tumors. A tumor is a useless, purposeless, out of control growth. Now, there are two kinds of tumors: benign, meaning non cancerous, and malignant, meaning cancer. Now, malignant tumors can become metastatic. They can metastasize. This means that there's spread. Generally, there are two kinds of brain tumors, generally speaking. Primary, start in brain, and secondary, metastasize to brain. It can start as breast cancer, liver cancer, and spread to the brain. So how does spread happen? Well, cells from the primary tumor break off and through your circulatory system are carried to other parts of the body, and you have the start of a new tumor. Let's say this was lung cancer. Let's take a look at a couple of cancers here. Well, tumors. Here we have cancerous tumor. This would be largely inoperable. You see, getting the tumor out would destroy so much brain that you couldn't get away with it. Other times, the tumor's too big, access is impossible, or the patient is too sick to operate. So for those reasons, sometimes tumors are inoperable. Here's a meningioma. What you see with non-cancerous, aka benign tumors, is that there's a difference between a cancer and a benign tumor. Cancer, as you can see, invades and takes over healthy cells and turns them into cancer cells. It spreads out. Whereas a benign tumor will cause its harm by growing and pushing aside healthy brain tissue. Now, you know there's not a lot of room in the cranium. So when you have a growth like this, there's tremendous pressure, and all of this brain looks very injured to me. Actually, we can expand that up. And obviously these are photographs, so this person has died. And they've drawn a sort of a midline here, showing you that there's a shift of midline. You should never see this. This is not normal. And it tells you that something is pushing. This is a good example of benign not necessarily meaning harmless. It just means it's not cancerous. Here's a glioma in the pons brainstem. You can't take this out. You're going to kill the patient. Here's an ependymoma, a tumor arising from the lining of the ventricles. The thin layer of cells lining the ventricles can become cancerous and grow out of control. Now, all uh, brain tumors arise from non-neuronal cells because neurons don't replicate. And what is a tumor? It's an out-of-control growth. So these are formed from glial cells, tissues from the meninges, vasculature, and bone, if we include the skull, which we should, because a bone tumor can cause significant, skull tumor can cause significant problems in the brain. Now, what about treatment? Well, treatment for cancer, there really are three, and then a newer one that's emerging. So treatment, surgery. You want to take away as much of the tumor as you can, and in this case it would be complete removal of the tumor, and a person should be totally okay. In this case, surgery is not an option. 2. Chemotherapy. These are toxic drugs that cause damage to the body, including tumors. Now, these drugs are taken up by your cells. The more active your cell is, the more of the drug it will take up, and thus there'll be more of a therapeutic effect. Now, what kinds of cells have high levels of activity and high cellular turnover? Hair, nails, skin, digestive tract, hair, nails, skin. Oh, and of course the tumor itself. Tumors are highly energy hungry. That's one of the reasons cancer patients lose so much weight. One of the reasons. Because the tumor is metabolically very hungry and will actually grow new blood vessels to supply itself with more blood, to get more energy, to grow faster and spread. I'm drawing new blood vessels. Actually, a kind of treatment I'm not going to mention goes after these blood vessels. They try to inhibit formation of new blood vessels, which should starve the cancer and should help. Anyway, I just thought of that. Okay, but you have chemotherapy, and you have radiation. And in radiation, a beam of gamma rays is directed right at the tumor, with the hope that we could heat up the tumor and kill the cancer cells. And there's significant success, but 1, 2, and 3 have been frustrating. Growth and development of cancer treatments is slow. But we do have a new approach. These are immunotherapies. The way these work is they boost your body's natural innate immune system, and or some other smart way teach your body to attack the cancer cells and kill them. See, for reasons they don't understand, as we get older, and in cancer patients generally, our immune system slows down. Part of the problem there is you don't get to have a strong defense against pathogens and abnormal cells. With immunotherapies, they can target the cancer or train your body, train your immune system to go to war. Let me give you an example. from my own life. My father, unfortunately, has bladder cancer. This is his urinary bladder. He has recurrent cancers growing inside his bladder. He had surgery. He had 3 surgeries. They took them out, but the cancer keeps coming back. So they started trying BCG. This is think of this as an immune system stimulant. What it really is a tuberculosis-like bacterium that is weakened and is injected right into the bladder. And there's only one way to get into the bladder. Well, there are 2 ways, but you have to go the direct route. So they insert this or inject the BCG into the bladder. And what the BCG does is it boosts your innate immune system. This is your first wave of immune system attack. General kill all. Now, the BCG tells the bladder, oh my gosh, we have an invasion. Something is wrong. So it wakes the bladder up from its slumber, and the bladder, well, the body goes to work killing any abnormal cells in the bladder. Anything that might look sick, including cancer cells. And this, my dad's been cancer-free for 5 years, whereas he had 3 surgeries in about 4 months. So you see, these approaches are good, but scientists in the field of cancer treatment are very excited about this. This will be a game changer. These are nice. This could change everything. But that's probably being overly optimistic. Because as they say, cancer is cancer.